On this episode, we're cleaning the wheel well. So you've seen me take the tire off before for the brakes. We polished those up, cleaned them up, deburred them, greased up the sliders. But we're prepping for front suspension swap. So I got a couple hours to kill. I'm waiting on parts on the truck. We can get this knocked out. But first, jack points. This is your jack point for your floor jack. I use a 4x4 block so I can get the car up higher. Think about it. Way back when this car was made, the jacks were huge. So they lifted up higher. Now we all have these low profile jacks to slide under these cars, so you got to make up the distance with a block. And then for my rest point for my jack stands right here, there's this plate that holds the suspension, so we know it's strong, and it's welded to this plate, which is welded to this part of the floor. So 3 pieces bound together. That's where we're going to rest. So I've pressure washed this before. You can kind of see the difference in grease adhesion, road grime adhesion. This is where the pressure washer didn't get to. But for this episode, we're taking off the fender liner, 6mm or a 932 usually. So I see 3 screws holding it in. Looks like 3. And then it has a lip on it, so you just want to pull it out. It's 40-year-old plastic, so be careful. Oh yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so looking at the front, so looking at the front of the wheel well, this is where your headlight bucket starts. Just a little bit of rust where that stuff's pulling off. That's what the pour 15 is for. And then there's a body plug right there. And if we look back, this would be where the door pillar starts. I'll try to give you a 360, but I don't know about the light. So looking down there, this fender was welded on probably after a crash. That body plug is missing, but that's okay. We'll take care of it. And then up in here, spinning, hold your head. And coming back down. So I got to get this grease off. I'm going to spray it with a WD-40 and then hit it with the pressure washer, and then we hit it with the Dawn dish soap. So this thing is electric. It's 1600 psi. 1600 psi. So if I break out the gas one, We could probably strip off all of this undercoating, but this will strip off the loose spots, or at least identify the loose spots, but it's also going to get rid of all that grease. So here we go. The good thing about Texas is, even though it's almost October, it's almost 100 degrees, so the beginning of the pressure wash cycle is superheated steam. It's overheating because it's in the Texas sun. Gonna need a little bit more WD-40. Gonna let it sit for a minute. Well, for longer than I did this time. I'm gonna let it sit a little bit longer so it can soak in. I want to get up in here a little bit better. So this is after probably 4 cycles. WD-40, Dawn. You got to break out a scrub brush or two. Some of this stuff, which is, I don't know what. I hit that with wax and grease remover. So it's more like staining from something else, because it's not coming off anymore. And then that wax and grease remover, what it does is it rips the paint off. So you got to be careful. So this is, I stripped the coating off of the top and there's rubberized underneath, but that's what the wax and grease remover does with a scrub brush. So don't use it on something you want to stay. But now it's cleaner than it was. That's still filthy, probably in the back. Yeah, or I can't get to it with it, but it's coming off. So here's some things to think about. If you haven't done this to your car and you're running a fender liner, it's going to be dirty under there, and you will have some degradation of the undercoating with exposed metal. So this is subject to rust. This is subject to rust. And then back here you got some body seams. So we're going to come back after this is dry and we'll treat it with Pour 15. I'm going to paint it black because that's the color wheel wells are supposed to be. That'll help accent our nice shiny stainless steel coilover shock from Vic Auto. And then in here we're going to put sound deadening. This is your floor. Your foot is here. There. And then back in here. So we'll put the sound deadening up in here to reduce road noise between the fender liner and the cab. It'll make a difference. And then we got to break off everything, clean it, sandblast it, deburr it, sandblast it again, paint it, and then reassemble it. Probably have to replace some boots. It'll be fun. You're gonna enjoy it. I know I will. They didn't do a bad job welding this fender on. But ouch, they didn't treat it, so it's subject to rust. Now's going to be a good time to soak this underside with WD-40, and then I'll hit it with the pressure washer. But it's going to have to sit for a day or two. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good day.